Hey, did you know there was a virus going on? Shocking, I know. And we all have different coping mechanisms. For me personally, it's been a whole lot of Animal Crossing, rewatching The Simpsons, wallowing in my own misery, but also picking up some new skills like drawing, which I'm sure many of you watching are into as well. And fortunately, the kind folks over at Gaomon were nice enough to send me a review copy of a brand new Gaomon PD1560 drawing tablet. Rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? I've had the chance to test this thing out for a few weeks now, and though I don't personally draw a whole lot myself, my girlfriend found some great use for it, drawing some delightful stuff like Rule 63 artwork of me and Sonic. Like I said, we're all coping in different ways. I don't know a whole lot about drawing tablets, as I've only ever owned one other tablet before this one, so take everything I say in this video with a grain of salt, but it most certainly does its job as a glorified secondary monitor over here, so no complaints there. I also gotta say that the monitor itself is pretty responsive, and I never really had much issue accessing all my files, even on a Mac, though I did need to use an adapter for that, which was more on Apple's side than anything. Truth be told though, that wasn't the case from day one. What happened was they sent the tablet in this beautiful box all the way from Gaomon land, where it roamed free together with all the other Gaomon. We set it up, we're ready to get started, but the pen they shipped it with just wouldn't respond to our inputs on the tablet itself. This got really frustrating after a while, because although you could technically use it to let your creativity roam on there, it was only to the extent of hoping it would show up on screen and not 10 inches off, with no pressure sensitivity and lagging like constantly, so it was unusable. But this is where I need to give props to Gaomon. I was ready to give up this whole ordeal, which is also why this review took so long, even though we drew the artwork like the day we came out of the theater for Sonic. When we wrote them an email complaining about the dysfunctional input, they sent us this whole guide on how to fix it, and that did end up working in our case. So while it was a bit of a headache getting it to work, I now got this sweet 15.6-inch tablet with 8192 pen pressure and 1980 HD IPS full screen all to myself. What I really dig about this thing personally is how customizable everything is, like especially on the side with all the different buttons for brightness and the Gaomon menu, but also these big ones which are there for any type of shortcut you need. It's nothing you haven't seen before, but the size of this thing alone makes something like this a no-brainer, and working with it extremely comfortable. It comes with all the cables attached you need to set it up, and you can plug it into any HDMI port on your PC, provided your computer can handle it. But as I was even able to set it up on my MacBook, most modern hardware and software and all the major drawing programs like Photoshop, Sketchbook Pro or Medibang should be able to handle this thing. There are 10 buttons in total, along with the ones on your pen, which I also found to have a real nice grip to it, though the plastic makes it come off as a bit cheap. Completely unlike the tablet itself, which is a hefty piece of hardware, especially with the holster behind it that also made my life a whole lot easier, as you're able to adjust it to your liking as soon as you screwed it on there yourself. Kind of wish that was on there from the beginning, but what can you do? The pen also makes up for its quality with these little knob thingies they attach that you can use to switch out the one on your pen in case it starts to scratch the monitor, I think. For that you can also use the protective foil they sent you, which I chose not to because I like to live on the edge. Once you recharge the pen once, you can use it for a good few hundred hours, so no worries there. Plus they sent us a pair of those drawing gloves to make it a bit easier on their hands, but I can't find them. They were alright. While I can't promise you won't run into any similar issues to the ones I had when setting up the tablet in the first place, it actually isn't difficult at all to use once you did set it up properly. The quality of life on this thing is great with this price tag, as it only costs a little over $300, which finally gives me an excuse to draw more, though not much. I'd say if you already had experience with a tablet without monitor and wanted something more convenient, or are a beginner looking for a cheaper starting point, you can't go wrong with one of these Gaomon things. And you can also get like 20% off one if you check my links in the description, so for a more affordable solution, I'd say look into one of these, as I'm happy to own mine. Make of that what you will.